audio. Keep talking.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Michael Fitzgerald, and I'm a journalist who was asked to moderate this panel because I wrote a piece on where the loft is now. It got published last year in CSO magazine and just won an award. You guys are award winners or something. So, thank you. My job is mostly to stay out of your way and also to make sure that they don't get boring. I have a big task ahead of me. Please throw fruit at them when they do start to fall off track. But basically what we're going to do here is we're going to talk for an hour about issues that have emerged from the days that the loft was being formed in the security field, and we'll talk a bit about where they are. And we're going to have them start by, each of them is going to introduce himself. They are going to talk about what their handle was, whether they're still using the handle now, why they picked the handle, whether they're still using it now, and what they're doing today. They have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. They can all take a drink if they succeed in keeping it under 2 minutes, except Mudge, who can only drink if he does not exceed 2 minutes. Okay, so take it away, guys.
Well, I guess I'll start at the end. Chris Weishopel, also known as Weld Pond, not formally known as, because occasionally people still refer to me that, and there's nothing shady that happened that I'm trying to hide from. The name originally came because I was forced to pick a name to enter a BBS in Boston called The Works, and they said, we don't allow anyone to use their real name. And I said, ooh, this is going to be interesting. So, but then I said I have to pick one, and I really wanted to log in, and so I didn't spend a lot of time doing it. I just had a map on my wall, and I pointed at the map, and I pointed to Weld Pond, which is in I think it's in Braintree, Massachusetts. I've never actually been there. I was living in Somerville at the time. And so, it's completely goofy and random, and it just seemed to work, so I stuck with it. And, so what am I doing now? I was one of the ones who actually stayed the whole purgatory of that stake, I guess. Good times and bad times. Lasted the whole time from when L0pht was there until the company got sold to Symantec. And then I was at Symantec for another year, and now I'm working with Christian Ryu down the end, and we are the co-founders of Veracode.
Thanks. You may take a drink.
I'm John Tan. I picked that name because of the safe company that protects the crown jewels for the royalty in London there. The John Tan Safe Company. So that's just a physical security reference. And for the same reason everybody else has done it in the past is just be anonymous online, for one thing, to protect your identity in the same way that just makes common sense. You tell your children to do the same thing, right? So, and now I'm in the finance industry again. I spent 10 years before L0pht in finance, and after at stake, I'm back in the finance industry once again. So.
You may also take a drink.
I should have brought alcohol.
I'll drink from this.
Sweet. Cheers.
Okay, I'm timing.
Yeah, okay. I thought we were going to have 5 minutes. I thought we were supposed to go through with what we've done the past 10 years. All right, tell me when I can start. Because my wife was nice enough to, so one of the things is I got married. I'm Mudge. And in the last 10 years, let's see, I'm currently...
I'll let you pick the name.
I'll get to that at the end there. And if you're interrupting, I get some extra seconds then. I'm currently the technical director of National Intelligence Research and Applications for BBN, a little company that invented the internet, first silent running torpedoes, lots of stuff like that. I was made a plank owner of one of the current destroyers, along with Madeleine Albright and Richard Clark. I've been giving a lot of talks at universities associated with CyberCorps. CyberCorps is the President's Scholarship for Service. This is kind of like a cyber ROTC. You get your college paid for, and then you have to go do 2 years or 4 years working for a national lab, working for the CIA, the NSA, or one of those places. I provide reports and input to the Intelligence Science Board and the Director of National Intelligence. I was visiting scientist for 2-3 years at Carnegie Mellon. A couple IEEE awards. I got a congratulatory letter from the CIA for contributing to their critical mission, which they didn't say what that was. I briefed the Democratic Policy Committee, Senator Edwards. I'm currently providing input to one of the presidential candidates that's running right now on critical infrastructure. And I was the person who testified against Vonage and shut them down for Verizon as an expert witness, so that's really working for the devil. I got married, all that fun stuff.
You can start throwing fruit anytime now.
Yep. So the name, I give people who say, where did Mudge come from? 3 choices for the answer. One is the short one, which is an entire lie. The second one is kind of half-truth, and the third's long and boring and the actual story. Almost everybody goes for the first one, and I say it's my middle name. They say how nice, and they walk away happy.
So what's the real story? In 15 seconds.
I didn't like somebody whose last name was Mudge, and I figured if I was going to get busted, they'd go to his house first.
You may take a drink.
Thank you.
Space Rogue.
Hi, I'm Space Rogue. I think I'm the only one left who still uses their handle exclusively, at least at HackerCons and stuff. I do that not because of trying to hide anything or anything bad that happened, but it's more of a perception thing for me. I can't really put Space Rogue down on my resume and expect people to sort of take me seriously or not try to do some Google searches. And despite the perception of the word hacker and whatnot in this room, it's still very different out in the real world. And so when I'm trying to apply for a position as an IT manager and people see weird things on the resume or they do a Google search on my real name, I prefer they didn't link the two together. In some cases, it would be a benefit, but I think in most cases it would actually still be a detriment, unfortunately. So while I still need to remain employed and pay my mortgage, the handle and the real name stay separate. So right now I'm currently working as an IT manager for a small marketing company in Somerville. It's interesting to me because I'm in charge of everything in the company, from the computers to the security system to telephones. So it's good. It's good work. That'll make 2 minutes.
You may take a drink.
I need it.
Hi, my name is Paul Nash. I used to go by the handle of Silicosis. Early on in the Outstate days, it was interesting going into clients. I think in the beginning we started off, some of us using handles or some combination of the both. But early on, it was one of those things where we were doing some really, really cool research, and the landscape and environment had really changed. It was no longer as big of a deal coming out with advisories or notifying companies or vendors of security issues and whatnot. So, and some of the research we were doing was really cool, so I just wanted to associate my real name so that looking back, I can put it on my resume. I can go forward, I'll have white papers and whatnot I could reference and look back. So what am I doing today? I am actually still at Symantec. I am the only law person still at Symantec. And so, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, why are you still there? Everyone has left. You know, the thing is, it's actually a really cool environment. Symantec obviously is a multi-billion-dollar organization, and that gives us great aperture into large organizations and whatnot. So just being able to advise CSOs for Fortune 50, Fortune 10, Fortune 100 companies, I mean, we're all over the board. And so I think Symantec really gives us the opportunity to go in there and actually solve hard problems. It's the loft was, it was a lot of fun and it was very interesting, but we were very tightly focused on technology and whatnot. And security is a hard thing to solve, especially when you have 250,000 employees or tens of thousands of systems and whatnot. So I think that it's just an interesting problem, and I like to solve problems.
And so why silicosis?
Oh, yeah, silicosis. It's the black lung. It's a coal miner's disease, which I found out after choosing the handle. Yeah, but the origination, back in when I was in 4th grade, I read a short story that had silicosis as one of the characters in there. It was just it was a really cool sounding name, and so it just stuck with me over time. So that when I was getting into the scene doing research and whatnot, it just I gravitated back towards that.
One of the few loft members who never smoked also.
Yeah, exactly.
But I forgot, or Space Rogue, why Space Rogue?
There's a game that's called Space Rogue that I didn't know about when I picked the handle. It just came about from Free Word Association when I think it was the Works board that I first signed into that required a handle. And I was sitting there at the prompt like, what the hell is my name going to be? And I just sat there for 5 minutes and did basically Free Word Association, and that's what I came up with. And then I found out there's some stupid cheesy game called Space Rogue.
Wasn't it also a John Brunner Shockwave Rider?
No. Shockwave Rider is my other handle, Sandy Halflinger.
Oh, right.
He's the main character in Shockwave Rider by John Brunner.